You could land in Bangkok tomorrow knowing every trick in the book and still get played, because the most successful tourist scam on earth doesn't look like a scam. It looks like a friendly local, a helpful tip, a once-in-a-lifetime deal. By the time you understand what happened, you're thousands of dollars lighter, on a plane home with no way to prove a thing. And the people who did it, if they are ever caught, and they almost never are, the punishment is a fine of about $25. $25. That's the cost of running a machine that swallowed millions, survived 50 years, and feeds on one traveler above all, the smart, careful one who's certain he'd see it coming. Today, we're tearing it open, and it starts smaller than you'd guess, with a taxi ride that costs $1. But first, meet 3 men who swore this could never happen to them. The first man ordered a $9 drink, the kind you'd order on any vacation. The bill said $200, and paying it was the only way out of that room. The second thought he'd found the deal of a lifetime. Careful guy, checked everything. He was thousands of dollars in the hole before he suspected a thing. And the third fell in love and emptied his savings building a house for her, on land that was never his and never could be. Here's the uncomfortable part. None of these men were dumb or careless. Each one just believed exactly what he wanted to believe. And in Bangkok, that's the most valuable thing you can carry. Not your wallet, your hope. So that's our question for the next 20 minutes. Why do smart, careful people keep getting played in the friendliest city on earth? Stay with me, because by the end you'll see the whole machine, every gear, every player, and you'll spot it coming a mile away. And it all starts with the cheapest taxi ride in Bangkok. Chapter 1. The $1 Trap. It's your first morning. It's blazing hot before 9 in the morning. You want to see a temple, and a tuk-tuk driver rolls up with a grin and an offer that sounds like a gift. A tour of half the city for $1, sometimes less. Now watch what your brain does. It notices the deal is too good, and instantly invents an excuse to take it anyway. Maybe stuff's just cheap here. Maybe he's bored. See what happened? The hook was never his lie. The hook is that you told the lie for him. Think about it. Nobody drives you across a giant city in brutal heat, burning gas, for the price of half a bottle of water. He's losing money on that ride, which means the ride was never the thing he's selling. You are. That driver works with a whole web of shops, gem stores, tailors, souvenir traps. Every time he drops a happy, trusting tourist at their door, he gets a cut of everything you spend inside, 15, 20%. And if you buy nothing, he still collects a little gas money just for delivering you. Either way, he wins. The dollar is bait. The commission is the meal, and hold on to that word, commission, because in 10 minutes it explains everything, including why one driver said he could be killed for talking. For now, one rule. Nothing here is free. The cheaper it feels, the more it costs. But the most dangerous person you'll meet in Bangkok isn't behind the wheel. He's the stranger who just wants to be your friend. Chapter 2. Your new best friend. Fine. You skip the tuk-tuk and walk to the temple yourself, feeling pretty smart, and a man falls into step beside you. Nice shirt. Maybe a tie. Weird in this heat, but it reads as respectable, so your guard drops. His English is great. Where are you from? First time in Thailand? He's warm. He's funny. He knows your hometown. For a few minutes, it's just a pleasant chat in a beautiful city. Except it's not a chat. It's an interview. He's quietly filling out a form about you, what country you're from, whether you've been here before, how trusting you seem, how alone you are. And here's the creepy part. In the organized version, this guy never touches your money. He's the scout. Whatever he learns gets passed up the chain. So the next friendly stranger somehow already knows things about you, which makes everything he says feel true. So how do you tell a real friendly local from a setup? Thailand is packed with genuinely kind people. This isn't about treating a whole country like a threat. Here's the cleanest rule on earth. A local who's just being nice will never steer you toward a business. The second that lovely conversation bends toward a shop, a secret bar, a tailor, a gem deal, or a tuk-tuk waiting right over there, that's the tell. Good restaurants have lines. Real temples have crowds. Nobody with something worth selling chases you down a sidewalk to sell it. Keep that filter on, because every con from here starts the exact same way, with someone being suspiciously, generously kind. And the next two scams aren't even after your money. They're training you to hand it over. Chapter 3. The Warm-Up Acts. Before this city takes your savings, it takes your loose change. And it does it with two little scams that are almost cute until you see what they're teaching you. Scam 1. Near the Grand Palace, a woman is tossing seed to the pigeons, totally peaceful. As you walk by, she presses a little bag into your hands and smiles. Go on, feed them. You throw a handful, the birds swarm. It's a lovely moment, and then the smile drops and a price appears. And here's the trap built right in. You can't hand the bag back without spilling seed everywhere. You're standing there, holding the evidence that you bought it. So most people just pay to make it stop. Oh, and one dark little bonus. Feeding those pigeons is actually illegal. That's partly why tourist police finally camped out at the Grand Palace and chased the bird scammers off. So yes, you can get shaken down over a crime the scammer knew about and you didn't. Silly. Low stakes. Almost funny. But notice what it just taught you. The easiest way out is to pay and walk away. Remember that instinct? The next scam runs on it, with 2 more zeros on the bill. Night falls, and the touts come out waving laminated menus. 100 baht a drink, $3. No cover. Just come up and look. So you climb the stairs. Inside, a dim room, a tired show, and staff who get very friendly, very fast. Drinks you didn't order appear. Someone sits down next to you. 10 minutes later, you ask for the bill. It's not 2 drinks, it's hundreds of dollars. And when you object, they walk you through it with a straight face. A charge for your drinks. A charge for the lady drinks you never ordered. A charge for the show. In some places, I'm not kidding, a charge just for looking. Victims say the whole philosophy comes down to 4 words. You look, you pay. Keep arguing, and the friendliness evaporates. Suddenly there are large men between you and the door, and you realize this stopped being about a bill a while ago. Why does it work? You're a one-time customer. They'll never see you again, so why be fair? A normal business needs you to come back. This one needs you to leave, never return, and tell your friends Thailand is a ripoff, while the next tourist is already climbing the stairs. The defense is almost insulting. Don't go up. And if you do, get every price in writing before a single drink lands. Once you're in that room, you've already lost. But so far, they've only come for your wallet. Next, they come for your heart, and that's where the real money is. Chapter 4. The Boyfriend Business. The most profitable thing sold in this city isn't a gem or a drink. It's a feeling. And to understand it, stop judging for a second and see it the way the people inside it do, as a business. Start with one hard truth. Many of the women in these bars come from poor farming villages up north. Back home, a good job, if you can even find one, pays around 15,000 baht a month, a few $100s. One foreign boyfriend can send 10, 20, even 50,000 baht a month just as an allowance. Just to keep her out of the bar. For a young woman from a village like that, a foreign boyfriend isn't a romance. It's the biggest financial opportunity of her entire life. He sends money every month. She sends affection, attention, the feeling of a real relationship. Neither side ever says the deal out loud. But here's the reveal you won't forget. The top earners don't have one boyfriend. They have several. 3, 4 at the same time. Each man is certain he's the only one. And the truly impressive part? The scheduling. Visits get planned so no two boyfriends are ever in the country at the same time. That's not cheating the way these men imagine cheating. That's customer management. Every boyfriend is a monthly paycheck who has to be kept happy and kept away from the others. It even gets outsourced. In some internet cafes, a man back home is pouring his heart into a message, and someone else entirely is reading it and writing her reply. He thinks he's building a bond. He's a subscriber who doesn't know he's subscribed. Now, it's easy to make these women the villains, but honestly, they're often the most trapped people in this whole story. The real point is simpler. He thinks he's in a love story. He's actually in a business, with regular payments, scheduled visits, and a customer service department. He paid for a feeling, he got a subscription, and before anyone laughs at these men, remember, every romance scam in America runs on the exact same switch. Loneliness first, money second, shame last. And the men who go all in on that feeling, they walk straight into the most painful story in this entire video. Chapter 5. A House Built on Hope. Remember the third man from the beginning? The one who built a house? His story makes people wince, because there's no clever trick in it. He lost everything to a single fact about the law, a fact he never checked, and the woman he loved had no reason to mention it. Here it is. Foreigners cannot own land in Thailand. Period. Not through marriage, not basically. You can own a building, but never the ground under it. The land must be in a Thai name, and whoever's name is on that land can sell it whenever they want. No signature from you, no permission, no warning. Now watch his story again. He falls in love. He wants to give her a future, so he buys land in her name because that's the only legal way. Then he builds a house on it. In his mind, he just bought a home for the woman he loves. In the eyes of the law, he just gave away a very valuable property as a gift, no strings attached. And in the version of this story told over and over in Bangkok, she sells it. Then she goes back to the bar, meets the next devoted foreigner, and sells him the dream of building a house on the very same land. The house the first man paid for? Someone else is living in it. He's out $50,000 with nothing. No land, no home, no case. Because on paper, he was never an owner. He was a donor. And the cruelest twist isn't even the money. It's that he went back to the bars afterward, still looking, still hoping the next one would be real. Because what beat him was never a contract he forgot to read. It was hope, quietly out-arguing every ounce of caution he had. The trap was sitting in plain sight the whole time. He just didn't want to look at it. Quick favor before the big one. If this video has already made you a harder target, hit subscribe. It's the only free thing in this story that actually is. Which brings us, at last, to the scam I opened with. The 50-year-old one. The masterpiece. Chapter 6. The Masterpiece. A chain of strangers, a fake government program, and real gemstones that ruin real lives. Once you see how the pieces snap together, you can't unsee it. It starts with a lie at the temple gate. You show up at the Grand Palace, and a friendly, well-dressed man stops you with bad news. It's closed today. Buddhist holiday, royal ceremony, cleaning. There's always a reason, and it always comes with a smile. Here's the antidote right now. The Grand Palace is open basically every single day, roughly 8:30 in the morning to 3:30. Anyone telling you a famous Bangkok temple is suddenly closed is, almost certainly, the first link in a chain. And that chain has a destination. Because your new friend has a suggestion. Since you're free now, why not see the famous Lucky Buddha? And look, a tuk-tuk right there. Dirt cheap thanks to a government promotion. Sound familiar? At the second temple, you meet your next character, a distinguished older man, former professor, he says, retired United Nations economist, someone important. And ever so casually, the talk drifts to gems. There's a special sale on, government-backed, one day only. He's not even pushing you. He barely seems to care if you go, which of course is exactly what makes you want to go. Then the masterstroke. Another tourist, often from your own country. He's here for the same deal. He shows you stones he already bought, says he flies in every year and doubles his money back home, and suggests, friend to friend, that you max out your card too. Stop and count. 3 strangers, 3 places, 1 identical story. A friendly local, a respected expert, a fellow traveler with nothing to gain. That's not a coincidence. That's a cast. Every one of them is an actor, and the show is for an audience of 1, you. So you land at the Government Export Center, which looks exactly like a real jewelry store. And here's what makes this scam diabolical instead of just greedy. There is no government gem sale. There never has been, not once. The entire story was fiction from the first word. The stones themselves, usually real sapphires, real rubies, just priced at double, triple, sometimes more. They will even offer to ship them home for you, for convenience. Really, it's so you're back in your own country, weeks away, before the doubt creeps in and a jeweler tells you the truth. And notice the evil little detail. Nobody technically lied about the gem. They sold you a real stone at a crazy price, powered by a fantasy you talked yourself into, which is exactly why almost nothing ever happens to them. To understand that, you have to follow the money, all the way up to the man at the top. Chapter 7. Untouchable. Once you see the food chain, the randomness disappears and the machine appears. The man at the temple gate gets paid for steering you. The driver gets paid for delivering you. The professor gets paid. The fellow tourist gets paid. And all of it flows up to the shop that owns them. You were never wandering. You were being handed up a chain, link by link, each person taking their cut all the way to the register. Every smile along that route was a commission. And this is where it gets dark. Ask the men at the bottom how it works, and they get nervous. They mention a boss, protection, what happens to people who talk too much. One driver admitted, on camera, that he could be shot for explaining the racket, not by police, by the organization that runs it. Now let's separate what's proven from what's whispered. What's whispered, and has been for decades, is that this scam is protected, that people inside the police, maybe even politicians, look the other way. Victims tell of running to the tourist police, only to watch the officers side with the shop. Some were even handed papers to sign saying they were satisfied and wanted no refund. With police standing right there. But here's what's proven, and it's almost worse. Police have raided these gem shops. They've arrested dozens of people, managers, drivers, the works, and one official put the damage from the scam at over 100 million baht, millions of dollars. So no, the whole system isn't rotten, and it's not that nobody's watching. The system knows. The system has acted, and the scam is still running. How? 2 tricks. First, the shops just changed their name and address. The same store reopens next month as a new company. And second, the killer. Because the gems are real, you weren't sold a fake, you just overpaid. And overpaying isn't a crime. In many cases, the worst the law can do is that fine we started with, $25. There's your answer. A scheme that has swallowed millions, wrecked vacations, drained savings, and humiliated people who thought they were too careful to fall for it, and on a bad day, the law treats it like a parking ticket. That's why it's survived 50 years, not some all-powerful mafia. Just brutal math, enormous reward, almost zero consequence. So if the system won't protect you, that leaves exactly one person who can, and it starts with understanding why they picked you in the first place. The real mark. So, why do smart, careful people keep getting fooled here? Because it was never about smart. Every con we just walk through, whether the dollar ride, the friendly stranger, the birdseed, the bar bill, the girlfriend with 3 boyfriends, the house, or the gems, runs on the same fuel, not greed, hope. The hope that this deal is real, that this person likes you, that you found something everyone else missed. The scammers aren't smarter than their victims. They've just learned that a hopeful person will argue against their own common sense for free. And here's the part that matters, because it'd be easy to walk away thinking Bangkok is a den of thieves. It isn't. Tens of millions visit every year and never see any of this. They eat incredible food, meet genuinely warm people, and fly home in love with the place. The scammers aren't hunting everyone, they're fishing for the few, the jet-lagged, the flattered, the lonely, and the ones certain they've found a deal too good to pass up. Which means the most dangerous thing you can pack isn't naivety. It's that quiet voice that says this could never happen to me. I'm too smart. Because I'm too smart to be fooled is the exact thought all three of our men had, right up until the bill landed, the land sold, and a jeweler back home looked up and said, "You paid what?" So here are 3 rules, and they work way beyond Thailand. Rule 1. If a stranger approaches you with an amazing deal, the deal is you. Rule 2. Famous attractions don't close by rumor. Check the hours yourself. Rule 3. Real businesses don't chase you down the street. They don't have to. And when you can, pay by card, so there's a trail. Because none of this is really about Bangkok. The same gem chain runs in Sri Lanka. Near identical tours herd tourists into jewelry shops in Turkey. The faces change, the props change, the psychology never does. It was never about gems or temples or tuk-tuks. It's about you and the story you most want to believe. The biggest mistake a traveler can make was never trusting a stranger. It's being certain you're too clever to be fooled by one. Know someone with a trip coming up? Send them this. It might save them a fortune. A like and a subscribe helps us take apart the next one. Stay curious and maybe keep one hand on your wallet.